Alright, howdy folks, and welcome to Gridiron Live. Tonight we have a bit of a rare basketball game. I only learned of this basketball game maybe about an hour or so ago, and I thought it was interesting enough that I wanted to go ahead and give it a whirl. Just give me a moment so I can drop the link in the Retro Sports Gamer Discord. And we are good. So, this is an ESPN licensed game. It's published by Konami, developed by Konami. It is in the same series as like NFL Primetime, 2002 MLS Extra Time. So it's these early 2000s ESPN licensed games before they were licensed by 2K for a while. But we're going to take a look at that and kind of fiddle around in franchise mode. But before that, let's go ahead and roll the intro.
The right to bear arms is guaranteed in the Constitution, sir.
We're going to hold on to him by the nose, and we're going to kick him in the ass. We're going to kick the hell out of him all the time, and we're going to go through him like crap through a goose.
Roger Vick pounded his lane for 11 yards and a touchdown after taking...
We're going to cut out their living guts and use them to grease the treads of our tanks. We're going to murder those lousy Hun bastards by the bushel.
Alright. So this game is pretty interesting because it's not 989 Sports, it's not 2K, it's not EA. It's Konami, and Konami has a decent track record, and mostly in soccer games, the Winning 11 series. But this game has a really cool user interface. I really like it. So, oops, took us back. Keep pressing the wrong button. But we're gonna play as... I was tempted to play as the Suns, but we're gonna go play as the Toronto Raptors, who are actually not the worst team in this game. But we do have Hakeem Olajuwon, Antonio Davis, Morris Peterson, Vince Carter, and Alvin Williams. So you can kind of mess around with the conference alignment, which is pretty cool. And so these settings I thought were pretty interesting. So you can set how many years you want to play franchise, and go from 5 and go up by increments of 5. I'll just leave it at 25. This is the basic difficulty, so you got super hard, very hard. They actually have a pretty wide array of difficulty settings. It's typically around 3 for most games. They have easy, normal, hard, very hard, and super hard. We're gonna leave it at hard. We're gonna go we'll do 4-minute quarters, and the sim quarter length we'll keep it the same as well. Now this is pretty cool because you can change the number of games. And for basketball season, there's 82 games. And I don't feel like playing 82 games. So you can bump it down to 14 to make it like a football season, which is pretty neat. Then you have increments of, I guess you keep doubling, 14, 28, 56, to 82, but we're gonna put it at 14. And then the playoffs match. I don't even know what that means exactly. We'll leave the fantasy draft off and leave everything else as is. Okay. So I really like this user interface. It's very simple, but it just screams sports. So much more manageable schedule. And so our first game is against Detroit. We're gonna go ahead and got some more options here. Can we change the camera settings? Yes. So I liked classic number 1. I think that's good. Controller settings. Guess we can't remap. I think I'll just leave that for now. So we'll go ahead and jump into Detroit. Oh, here's another cool thing is that you can play as player 1. Hey, what's up, Patrick? Playing a bit of a rare basketball game here. I only learned of it like an hour ago. I thought it was pretty interesting. But you can play either as player 1, which is all the players. I am doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. Got player 1. You can play as a center. All these other positions. Or you can play as specific players, which I thought was pretty cool. But we're just going to play regular. So this was the game developed by Konami. What's kind of confusing is that
Live from Toronto, it's NBA
they
on ESPN.
had,
And with me to my right is Stuart Scott.
I think Konami made one more basketball game after this,
And now for the
and it feels very identical, very similar, but they didn't have the ESPN license, and I think it's called NBA Starting 5, which I also tried out just a while ago. But I do like having the ESPN license. So they have the little intros, which is pretty cool. So this came out in 2001. And I haven't played too many of these PlayStation 2 basketball games, but it seems like it's holds up okay. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, they're not the worst game, or they're not the worst team in this game. We gotta time this jump. I missed it. Okay, so how do we block? Triangles to jump.
Nice jam.
X is to pass.
Moves up.
Um,
And he's still holding on to the ball.
Circle, it's probably going to be to shoot.
With a 15-footer. It
Yeah.
trickles out.
Square is to steal.
Curry. Atkins. That's the first 3 ball of the game.
Oh, that was a nice.
So the gameplay feels alright. It's not like super realistic.
Tough one. All net. The Raptors.
Patrick says, "My bad, I haven't checked out that Bengals series yet. Hard feelings after they beat the Bills." Oh.
Passes it into.
Yeah, well, this is the 2004 Bills. So, long, totally different story.
Lets it go. He got it. The Raptors down by 1.
Totally different time.
Curry. Stackhouse throws up a tough one. Williamson grabs the rebound. Curry.
I didn't end up watching
Gets
that
the ball
game.
out to
I
Wallace.
actually don't watch
Off iron.
NFL games typically anymore.
Around the perimeter to Atkins.
You have to take care of the ball.
Would probably sooner watch an old game,
Carter
which is something that I've kind of enjoyed doing.
shoots the jumper. The rebound
I don't know if you've ever done that. You'll like
with a 15-footer.
put on like an older game. Oh, did we crash? We did crash. It's okay. Should probably set up a save state. We crashed. That's all right. I hope that doesn't happen again. I'm pretty sure I made a save. Load data. Should probably make a save state. So if that happens again, I can just pick it right back up. You've watched classic games for sure. Yeah, I like watching like college football from 1980s,
Live from Toronto.
1990s, early 2000s.
I'm your host, Brent Musburger, and with me to my right is Stuart Scott.
Occasionally I'll go back and watch something from like 2012,
The
but
visiting Detroit Pistons.
I really like the 80s and 90s sports games. I've pretty much only watched college football, but I know there's a lot of sports to choose from.
The game is about to start here on ESPN.
So let's see if I can make a save state.
Now the ball is up.
System,
Controls the ball.
save state, slot 0.
Stackhouse. Curry.
Okay,
Atkins.
so hopefully that'll,
The first two goes in for.
let's change our camera. Change it to classic 1. Who's your favorite college quarterback of all time? Johnny Manziel. He went to Texas A&M, right? He did go to A&M. Johnny Manziel. Watching Johnny Manziel is actually what got me back into Texas A&M football. Because I was into it in like 2007, 2008, 2006,
Moving up.
and
And with the jumper, the shooter is touched.
I kind of fell out of it for a while for no particular reason, just out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
Stackhouse swipes the ball.
And 2012 was a great year, and that really
Atkins gets a deuce.
More D.
really got me back into it. But my favorite college quarterback,
Two.
I mean, Johnny Manziel was great,
Still holding on to the ball.
so he's definitely a contender for favorite.
The 10-footer. The rebound by Curry.
Um,
Williamson. Curry.
But there were some other great quarterbacks at A&M. You had Stephen McGee. He was around in 2006, 2007.
And he still keeps the ball.
He was a good passer, but the coach at the time was really heavy on the option, so he used him as a runner.
Stackhouse. Williamson.
And he was pretty good.
With the 22-footer. Olajuwon yanks down.
He also had Corey Pulig, number 4 for A&M. That was closer to the early to mid-90s. He was a really good QB.
With the 10-footer, and he puts it in gently.
Ryan Tannehill, of course, 2011, 2010.
Dribbling up court. Wallace.
He actually started out as a wide receiver.
With a cross-court pass to Curry.
And he turned out to be a huge gem for A&M.
Pops in at 2. Curry. So far, he has scored 4 points.
Let's see. So the players move kind of, they're a little stiff. Well, I wouldn't say stiff,
With the 8-footer.
but like the transition animations are like non-existent.
Curry.
So in between animations, it's pretty stiff.
Pushes the shot.
That's actually something they cleaned up in the next version of the game,
Down by 4.
I noticed.
And he's still holding on to the ball. Takes a shot. The rebound by Curry. Moving up.
See if I can get the ball back here.
Stackhouse.
Come on, how did he get through the defender?
With a reverse slam.
And that one was for all the young shorties out in the crowd.
Tannehill was a wide receiver, good athlete to play QB as well.
The Pistons lead
Yeah,
by
he
6.
started out as a wide receiver, and he was a good wide receiver.
A minute remaining in the first quarter.
The coach that A&M had at the time was Mike Sherman from the Packers. You might know
Throws
him.
up a tough one. Knocks down the 12-footer.
And
Raptors now have 6 points.
while his overall record never really reflected it, he seemed to be a pretty good evaluation of talent.
Curry.
Because a
Atkins.
lot of the 2012
Got it.
roster that went 11-2 and beat Alabama and beat Oklahoma and all these teams, a lot of those were Sherman players. And Johnny Manziel was
Down by 6.
recruited by Mike Sherman. Ryan Tannehill was moved over by Mike Sherman.
With a 15-footer. No, he can't get it to go with this
But
one either.
Mike Sherman was fired in
Stackhouse.
favor of Kevin Sumlin.
Eyes a 3. That's the first 3 ball of the game.
Beautiful.
Brings it to the attack court.
And I don't know if Kevin Sumlin,
Knifes
he had a
it
good
in.
time at Houston.
Throws up a tough one. And it's good.
He had a good time at Houston, but
The Pistons lead by 7.
without Manziel and without Cliff Kingsbury,
Time expires. That brings us to the end of the first
I don't know
quarter.
how much Kevin Sumlin really brought to the table. Make that a career? Evaluating talent, you mean?
We are ready for the second quarter. The Pistons in the lead by 7.
Okay, I'm
Olajuwon.
gonna try not to play this like NBA hoops. As fun as that game is.
Shoots the 3. Stackhouse reels in the ball. White.
Okay, how do we...
Stackhouse puts in the first basket of the second quarter. So far, he has scored 7 points.
Let's see.
With a 15-footer.
There we go. Sherman could evaluate talent for sure.
The Raptors down by 7.
Yeah,
Williams
oh, look at that.
picks off the pass.
I don't know too much about his time in Green Bay, but
With the 8-footer. Swish.
I mean, he certainly had the potential
So far, he
to
has scored 10 points.
take A&M places, and I think the highest they got was like 9 wins before he got fired.
Passes it into Stackhouse. Look out below.
All that in a
And
bag of
they were a
chips.
good team. It's just they blew some halftime leads, and they could have finished a lot better than they did.
With a 15-footer. It's a 2. The Raptors down by 5. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Mike Sherman was.
From the perimeter. Peterson with the defensive
It would have been
rebound.
cool to see him at least a year or two in the SEC, but
With a 12-footer.
you could tell that he really liked the job,
Williamson.
and
Atkins.
that's what I value the
Gets
most
the ball out to.
in a coach's loyalty,
They're passing the ball too much. Somebody's
even
gotta
more
shoot.
than winning all the time. Man, game. That's not good at all. If this happens one more time, I'm gonna have to switch the game. Z64, this is the first game? Yeah, but it just crashed for the second time. Not sure why. Tannehill became a QB, make a career in the NFL. Yeah, he's been one of the, I'd say, above average quarterbacks, for sure. No Super Bowls, of course, but he can definitely move the ball.
Curry. Atkins. The first 2 goes in for the Pistons.
Yeah. I guess I didn't play test this game enough. Alright, so we gotta restart a little bit.
And he spins. Knocks down the 15.
If we lose it again, then I'll just have to change the game. I don't know if it's emulator or if it's the specific game. Look at that.
Gotta protect the rock.
Oh, that was dumb.
Shoots the 3 from way out.
I think lots of sports games generally have emulator issues on most consoles. Well,
Skip pass.
I mean, I've had PCSX2 for a long time, and I've never had any issues with it crashing like this. I don't know if it's because I just copied it over from one of my hard drives, because I actually didn't have it on this specific computer. So maybe like some of the startup configuration files are slightly off. That could be, might be an issue.
Stackhouse.
Other than that, all I can think of is this specific game having trouble with PCSX2, because I know some games are different when they emulate. Because sports games aren't generally popular.
And he brings it up.
Yeah, it depends.
With the 18.
Depends on the sport, really.
Kid has 3 field goals right off the bat.
Oh. Yeah, I've been playing by myself. Hard to be the heavyweight champ, sleeping in silk sheets. Evander Holyfield. Yeah. So hopefully this stays up.
Wide pass out to Curry. Williamson. Wallace. Back out to Stackhouse.
Yeah, I have a pretty decent computer here, so there's no reason why
Williamson. Around the perimeter to
the game should crash based on hardware.
Peterson from long distance.
I keep pressing the circle button.
Substitutions for the Detroit Pistons.
The Raptors lead by 2. Wallace. Williamson. With
So
the
yeah, we
spin.
played an entire quarter and then the game crashed. I guess if the game crashes again, I'll let you guys, if you want to pick the game.
Cuts in. Takes a shot. And it's
Something
good.
on
The Raptors now have
PS1 or,
8. Moves up.
yeah, something on PS1.
Wallace.
I know PS1 works
Into
perfectly
Williamson.
fine.
He got it.
Oh, no, he didn't, y'all.
Might have to do a little bit more testing on the PC SX2 version 1.6 that I have on this computer. Maybe do a fresh install,
Down
that
by
might work.
2.
Man.
That's an air ball.
That was a major air ball. Uh-oh, should have seen my man coming.
Hakeem the Dream.
Wallace.
I remember playing with him in NBA Live 96.
The ball loose. Wallace picks it up. Scores a 2.
Oh, that's tight.
Okay, so we sprint with R2.
Cutting in.
Keep pressing circle to sprint for some reason.
Davis. Recovers the ball. Pops the jumper. Knocks
Bam.
in a 2.
There's Hakeem.
The Pistons down by 2. Dribbling up court. Atkins. He ran out of room.
That was an easy call.
And Z64, I was
Not much time
testing
to go.
the N64 emulator a couple days ago,
With a 12-footer.
and also the Sega Saturn emulator, which seems to work pretty well.
Sends the ball cross court to
No issues that I could find.
Atkins.
I might find
Wallace.
some Sega Saturn exclusives
Fires it. That's a backboard violation.
play on the channel. Might be cool.
Only a few seconds left. Davis
Keep the ball here.
puts up a shot as time expires. That brings us to the end of the first quarter.
Paranoid me, I'm gonna make save state every 2 minutes. Saturn is cool. Yeah, what are some games for the Saturn that are exclusive to the Saturn? Because that's what I'm interested in. I want to see games that are exclusive and are not on any other platform.
It's the second quarter. The Raptors up by 2. Carter. With the J.
Damn.
That
It was
is
Vince
a great
Carter.
shot.
And he brings it up court. That's over and back.
You got to be aware of where you are in the court.
I think NBA Action, was that a Saturn exclusive?
With a fake. Pops the jumper.
Boom.
Nails it 2. Williams now has 4 field goals. Moving up. Wallace. White. Passes it into Williamson. Back out to White.
I get this steal.
Ball too much. Somebody's got to shoot.
With a big time block.
That's his first block of the game.
With a reverse.
Boom, ends in a dunk.
I'll tell you, Brent, that slam could have broken the basket.
Daytona USA is exclusive, and there's 3 different versions. NBA Action was exclusive.
Gets it out to Carter. With the J. It It rolls out. Atkins. Williams.
Isn't Daytona for the Dreamcast as well? Or the...
Sends the ball into the paint.
I think wasn't Daytona... I remember seeing Daytona for the Dreamcast.
Lead by 2.
Maybe it's a different version, like you said.
With a 15-footer, and he puts it in gently. Williams. So far, he has scored 10 points. Wallace. Atkins. Wide pass out to White.
This guy looks funny.
Passes the ball into the paint. With a follow-up
There we go.
jam.
Oh, see, that ain't
Oh, they
right.
scored. Never
He's
mind.
just showing off now.
The Pistons now have 14.
Did it again. It's okay. I guess it's a long pass.
Pulls up. The rebound to Carter. Shoots it. He misses again. White. Barros. White. Crazy ups.
Now, Brent, this guy can flat out.
I saw Antonio Davis when I visited California with a school friend. His dad lived in California at the time.
Full timeout by Detroit.
Antonio Davis. That's cool. I've met one or two professional athletes in my life.
The game is tied at 16.
I met
Robinson.
a couple players from
White.
a Mexican soccer club, professional soccer club, years ago.
Shot goes in.
And I also met,
No mercy on that one.
apparently I met Jesse Tuggle,
They shoot one.
and I didn't know it. But he walked into our shop.
It's good.
He needed some service, and then
The Raptors down by
somebody
3.
pulled me aside, like,
Under a minute to go.
after he left. He's like, "Do you know who that was?" They pulled up some Google images.
Davis
I was like, "Oh,
with a 15-footer.
I had no clue."
Shooter's touch. The Pistons lead by 1. Barros. White. Robinson. White with the 10-footer. Cardinal gobbles up the rebound. And with the reverse slam,
Can I get some?
the Pistons now have 21 points. The Raptors down by 3. And with the jumper, not much time to go. Cardinal. Robinson.
Who's in my spot in the chat here?
Got a piece of that one. Recovers the ball.
You just can't coach speed.
Lays it up. The Pistons lead by 5. Shoots the jumper. Nothing but net. Williams now has 6 field goals. The Raptors.
Just give me one
down
second.
by 3. Jones. For 3. You all gotta give him that.
He's got the touch tonight.
Z64 says the
Down
Dreamcast.
by 6. That's the end of the first half.
Dreamcast version is similar to Daytona USA 2 in the arcade. Antonio Davis was shopping with his family, had a small conversation with him. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty surreal to talk to someone that you might see on TV and then you see him in real life. I was on my way to go see Austin Powers. Nice. What players from the Mexican soccer team? It was this soccer team named Chivas. It was really brief. We were at their practice, so you know how you can kind of see them when they exit. So we were behind the fence, and we got to see them. They signed a couple things for us. I think I got a signature from the goalie, Osvaldo Sanchez. Maybe a couple of others, but he was like my favorite player way back then. D64 says, I met Ricky Waters. I don't know who that is. Jesse Tuggle. That name doesn't ring a bell. Jesse Tuggle. Got another crash. Jesse Tuggle. Um, Jesse Tuggle. He was a apparently he was a linebacker for the Falcons.
White.
So like a big linebacker. Man. Okay, so we are at a crossroads here. Jesse Tuggle, he's a nice, cool guy. Z64. Super Tecmo Tuggle. Apparently, like if the person that told me that was Jesse Tuggle, if he wasn't lying or if he wasn't mistaken, then I guess so. Ricky Waters is an old Seahawks running back. Okay. Alright guys, so do you want me to keep making save states and playing this game, or do you want me to play something else that we know won't crash? I mean, if I make save states often enough, it's not too bad, but it's pretty annoying to keep opening and closing the emulator. The save states work? Yeah. Alright. Yeah. It'll be a little rough, but it works. Guess I'll have to test out the emulator a little bit more later.
Robinson. Cardinals. Wham! Bang! Thank you, man. Whoa.
Tell you what, they better have a couple of replacement baskets ready every time this guy plays.
Not much time to go.
There we go.
Knocks down the 15-footer. Williams. So far, he has scored 12 points.
Yeah, so Jesse Tuggle, linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons, apparently.
White.
That's all I remember.
Will let it go. He got it. The Raptors down by 3.
And I think
Only a few
that's
seconds left.
was the only athletes I ever
With the 18
got to see face to face.
The Raptors down by 1. Cardinal commits an over and back violation. You can't do that once you've crossed the line. Pops the jumper. So that's the end of the first half, and we have a tight game so
Save
far.
state coming up. I mean, I do like this game. It just might be a little annoying to see it crash every 5 minutes. Patrick says, I was in an elevator in Las Vegas with Maurice Jones, USA gold medal sprinter. Huh. Well, where was that at? Elevators can be pretty personal. Isn't this game also on Dreamcast?
Now we head on to the second half.
The first one is, I think. It's called just NBA 2Night.
Wheels in the ball.
Patrick says, and my buddy met Dwayne Wade at the pool. I was at the roulette table. Oh. Yeah, I guess Las Vegas is a place where you can run into a lot of different people just on accident.
And he brings it up court.
Just because it's a place that's visited by so many different kinds of people.
Davis.
My experience in Vegas
With the
was
10-footer. It's
pretty lame.
More D.
It was actually kind of gross.
The Pistons lead by 1.
I think we were walking down the strip
Jones. Cardinal
and
with a reverse jam.
That man has some ups.
there were like the people dressed up as like movie characters, superheroes and all that.
Lead by 3. Brings it to the
And it wasn't like anything official. It was just, I guess, people that needed a buck that would dress up and get people to pay for pictures.
I'll tell you,
It
Britt,
just felt
somebody better
kind of
start
weird. Because like the costumes were dirty and everything.
With the offensive rebound. Robinson
Come on.
with the defensive board.
And
Barrows. Robinson
oh yeah, I got offered drugs
with a reverse slam.
And that one was for all the young shorties
just
out in the
randomly in the street.
Pistons now have 29 points.
Just randomly offered drugs in the street
Down by 5.
multiple times by the same person. He's like, hey, you want some of this stuff?
And he can't connect from the outside.
And I just ignored him because I was walking with my family.
falling apart.
And then
It
we
trickles
walk into
out.
this building and then we realize that it's the wrong building, so we walk back outside
Pops the jumper. Knocks
and
it
he's
out.
still there, of course. He's like, hey, you want some of this stuff? I think it was like 2 or 3 times. Then you have like the escort service cards or whatever all over the street. It's just
The Raptors down by 3.
not a
2 minutes remaining. In
not
the
something
third
that
quarter.
I'm
Got a piece of that one.
attracted
Davis
to.
Picks up the loose ball.
Vegas is overrated, I agree. If you don't go to the casino a lot,
With a
but
cross-court pass to
if you do go, the one near your home, Vegas,
passes it into the lane. Rejected. Atkins. White passes the ball into the paint.
oh, go to one near your home.
Look out below.
Oh, you know that's going to be on sports.
Yeah, the only casino I've ever been in was a hotel casino,
6 points.
and that was at I think Circus, that hotel that has like a theme park inside. Kind of wild. The coolest thing about that theme park was actually they had a pretty decent arcade actually. To my surprise, they had a lot of machines.
The Pistons lead
It
by
wasn't like
5. A minute and a half remaining in the third
like
quarter. And he still keeps
some
the
of
ball.
these arcades that try to preserve the arcade scene. It
Takes
was,
a shot. Drops in at 2.
and they had like,
Game
I
again.
don't know, 15 or so
The
cabinets.
Raptors down by 3. Wallace.
But it was decent.
And he's putting on a show tonight.
Everything else was just weird. Like they had a small roller coaster inside. Had this weird family-ish vibe because all the kids were there.
Shoots the jumper.
And like I don't think Vegas is a place where you're supposed to take your kids. I know they turn it into that, but
Wallace.
is it really? I don't think so.
Wallace. With the 10-footer. And it's good.
Oh, my man's got game.
White.
Vegas
So far,
drugs
he
make
has
sense.
scored 4
My buddy did
points.
too. The camera is like live, says Z64. Yeah, they have
Pops the
a
jumper.
few different
The
cameras.
rebound.
I guess it doesn't show you. That's weird. Should show you.
Wallace.
Yeah, should show you the camera angles. I guess not. Yeah, they have the typical press box, and they have the ones that are like vertical, follow the players. And this is the one that I like the
Now
most.
it's time to go. Atkins.
The sideline one is a little too close. I do like this kind of more zoomed out
Eyes a three. The shooter's
view.
touch.
Booyah! The Pistons pose
Sin
a
City,
mad threat
Sin
considering the
City, good
arsenal
sir,
of weapons at their
indeed.
disposal.
Will let it go. Swishes the
People
shot.
live in Vegas, so there are going to be kids there. Yeah, that's true.
Dribbling
just-
up the floor. Wallace.
It just felt like that particular place just felt like a Disney,
White.
like a dirty Disney vibe.
The third quarter.
So it was just kind of weird is all. I did go to the casino, the lobby casino basically. And of course lost some money. Not a lot, but I pressed the wrong button.
The Pistons lead by 5. Dribbling up court. With a 12-footer. They can't keep him off the glass. And he misses again.
Come on, guys, let's get it in the basket.
Wallace
Wow.
yanks down the defensive rebound. Atkins. Wallace. Atkins. Wallace. Gets the ball out to White. Williamson.
Time to go to the basket. Too much passing around.
Under a minute to go.
Come on.
With the J. Nails it two. And it's a three-point game again.
Almost like a rundown Disney wannabe. Kind of. I mean, it was only in this hotel.
Across the court to White. Back out to Atkins.
But yeah, I mean, Vegas is a whole city, so there's
Barrows.
Come on, it's time to get something
there's schools and hospitals and stuff and all that.
Wallace throws
But
up
I guess it's just that particular place kind of feels weird.
Gotta protect the rock.
We got lucky this
Not
time.
much time to go. And with the jumper, Williamson pulls it down. Atkins. White.
I'm kind of sad that gotta use the emulator like this. So hot in Vegas, felt like there was a blow dryer full of hot air blowing in your face. Well, if you live in Canada, I feel like anything above 65 is gonna feel like a
Gets the ball in the paint. Knocks in a two.
like
My
a
man really sees the court
ball of
nicely.
fire in your face. It wasn't too bad when
A
I
few
went.
seconds left. Puts up a shot as time expires.
Damn,
He's just totally
got the three-pointer.
Oh yeah, baby.
And it's a two-point game. The Raptors down by 2. That signals the end of the third quarter, and we have a close game on our hands.
Out of memory. What does that mean? Hold on. Igloos are for the Inuit, way up north. Maybe I'm having memory issues. New game grid. Yeah. That sucks. Okay, so let's see. Do we want to risk another PS2 game or we'll just play PS1? I got plenty of sports games on the PS1. Got NHL, Face Off, Game Day, Game Breaker, Blitz, Shootout, Showtime, Final Four, In the Zone, Fast Break, Hang Time, Oops, Moto Racer, MLB, Madden. If it's really memory issues, do PS1. It's got to be something with the installation because I just copied it over, so I'll have to do like a fresh install later. I should be able to actually show. Let's see. There it is. Shootout is one of the few PS1 games I remember playing. So I have quite a few. Shootout's okay. I think my favorite basketball game on the PS1 is still Live 96. Found it brand new for 99 cents. Oh, that's it. Yeah, you can find these games just dirt cheap, basically for free. I guess if we want to keep the basketball theme, we got Live, Shootout, Showtime, NCAA Football 99. Yeah, I actually like 98 more just because of the 2D sprites. Let's go. Well, I guess we'll go back to Live 96. And what did I do? Did something. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go change the title of the video. NBA Live 96. Cool library of games. Yeah, we definitely have a lot. I also actually found a. Whoops. I found a. What was it? An Xbox emulator. It didn't run that great, even on this computer. Let's go starter difficulty this time. We'll go 3-minute quarters. So I don't know exactly how to run an Xbox emulator to the best settings, but if I could, it'd be nice because there's a lot of Xbox games that I'd like to play. All right. It'd be really cool to play that other NBA game, but I'll just have to do some fiddling, see why it doesn't work. But I really like the ESPN graphics and the menus. That's one thing that the Konami ESPN games did very well, was the UI. Okay, now I gotta get used to different controls. Triangle still does the same thing. Circle pushes. How do we... R1's turbo. So we are on starter difficulty this time. We got destroyed by the computer last time. Come on. So many interesting sports games that just didn't survive just because the competition was so fierce. Like that NBA game that I just played now. Back then, it seems like there wasn't a whole lot of room for you had the big two, you had like 2K, and then you had EA. And all the other developers that made NBA games or just different sports games, they had to do a lot just to stay afloat. It's not like in today's world where a smaller game can survive with a niche audience, just like on Steam. They had to compete, you know, with the big boys all the time on console. It was a totally different world. So if those games were being made today, I think they'd have a longer shelf life. It's especially depressing to look at football games, even just basketball games, but football games in particular. But any sports game, it's cool to see just different games, see what they did, see what ideas they presented and all that stuff. Raptors played in the Air Canada Centre, not in the Sky Dome. Surprised it said Sky Dome for the arena. Was that in 1996? Because this game came out in 96. Not in 95, contrary to a lot of sports games. Typically they come out the year before the year that's on the title. Now Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, I wouldn't know, so. This game doesn't have any commentary, which I guess isn't that big of a deal. It's cool to hear them blabber on about stuff. So this is our speedster, I guess, Studemeyer. Square gets the steal. Eight to 12. Difficulty really makes a difference in this game. I know last time we got destroyed. think I forgot to turn off the shot, like the shot meter. I prefer it to be automatic. Okay, so how do we get this? Oh yeah. Gotta get it in the green. Favorite Gatorade, says Patrick. Well, one that I've gotten the most is the cucumber lime one. It caught me by surprise one day. It's like, what? Cucumber lime? And then I tried it and I was like, oh, it's got a really refreshing taste. So it's like, it's got that lime flavor, but it has that cucumber accent. So it's, anytime I get a Gatorade, which isn't that often anymore, but all the times that I was like working on a roof or something and I needed some kind of hydration quick, that's the one I would get. I wasn't a big fan of like the blue or red ones, just because I don't want to have a red tongue afterwards, you know, and because the flavor isn't that great. Z64 says, I remember a PC version on 95 that played exactly like this, like the 16-bit ones. It was super sharp graphics. Patrick says, wow, curveball. Pick cucumber lime. I might have to try that. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's kind of a Mexican flavor, if I had to guess, because I remember being in Mexico and drinking stuff that tasted like that. Patrick says, currently about to open a blue and share it with the lady. Nice. Yeah, if I typically don't like to drink them by themselves, like without doing like something really like physically arduous, just because it is kind of a lot of sugar. But if I'm like exhausted, and I've been exhausted on roofs, let me tell you, that's always my go-to. Top performers. TYU, Tew, Edney, Tony Massenberg. I'm a classic man. Yellow is my favorite, says Patrick. Yeah, that would be the regular lemon one, right? Honestly, I like searching through the healthy drinks aisle. Just because it seems like every couple months there's something new there. Stuff I haven't seen before. There's this really cool soda, or basically it's like soda. I think it's called OK. I forget what it's called, but it's supposed to be like a soda. But there's like, I don't know, 8 grams of sugar in it total. And it's got like prebiotic stuff in it. You don't taste any of that, but it's basically, it's got like all the popular soda flavors, but they're just lighter flavors. Like they have Dr. Pepper flavor, they have like cream soda flavor, orange, apple, They got regular cola flavor. Whoops. And they are a little pricey. It's like $2 something for a can. But I never buy them in bulk. I just... Sometimes I'm leaving the gym or something and then I want something a little sweeter. That isn't gonna spike my blood sugar too high. I also don't mind kombucha, which is like a really like strong vinegar kind of taste. Some of them are worse than others. Typically those are the kind of drinks I'll be looking for. There's this one drink called Bay, which is pretty decent. Smart to water it down, no doubt. Roofs, you need the electrolytes. Oh yeah. Man, this one time, it sucks because when we put the coatings on roofs, it's a reflective layer. So it's hot just to start out with. But then you start putting this coating on and then it reflects the sunlight back onto you. And it gets worse and worse and worse as you finish the roof. It's terrible. Like, it got to the point where I was like having to lay underneath the AC unit up there. Like I would, you know, coat for like 5 minutes and then go and lay down because I had those headaches and my body ached. Then looks like you're urinating sweet tea basically. That's when you know you need to stop and just hydrate. Z64 says, I'm a college student, so my drinks of choice are basically anything to keep me awake. Oh, I see. I wasn't ever much of a caffeine person. But anything that has caffeine in it, I'll typically stray away from. Just because I never know how it's going to affect me. Yeah. What else we got? Eating healthy is where it is, says Patrick. Trying to eat more yogurt. It's good for gut health. I do like Greek yogurt. These days it can be a little expensive because I typically like to eat a lot of it. One of the things I used to do was just I would get Greek yogurt and then put like berries in it and then a little bit of honey and then a tiny bit of like rolled oats just to give it kind of a different texture. It's basically like a dessert. It's pretty good. Kombucha is so not my jam, says Patrick. A lot of kombucha has a really strong flavor, and if you're not used to it, it can be pretty bad. Some kombucha, some of the brands are less acidic tasting. I prefer the ones that taste more like juice than to the ones that taste more like vinegar. Z says, I do take breaks from caffeine when I can. Yeah, that's probably smart, being shot up on caffeine just over and over is probably not the best thing. Z says, it always feels better to just sleep when you're tired. Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're artificially keeping yourself awake, that could be a problem. It's gonna come back the next day, for sure. Sleep just doesn't work. It doesn't work like a savings account where you can just put a little bit here, a little bit there, and then have it all equal the same afterwards. It just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You have to get it at the right time. Only down 5 points. Oops, pressed the wrong button there. Come on, Massenberg. Get that ball. There we go. Let's get in there. Bam. I have an outline for an essay I'm working on currently. I'm definitely not a fan of essays that I have to write. If it's something that I want to write, then I'm all for it. I've done my fair share of writing. I do like writing. It's more of a creative writer, though. I like writing fiction, stories. I've completed a couple things, but there's just not a whole lot you can do with it. Nice. So we can score this 3. And we... Okay, so we're within 1 point. And they... Come on now. Nope. Trying to concentrate because I only got 20 seconds left. Neither am I. I like writing stories too, to be honest. Yeah, I like... Oddly enough, I don't read novels that much, or pretty much at all. I don't know if it's just I've read so much nonfiction that I can't get into fiction writing or reading. But I like storytelling. And so I like the screenplay format a lot. It doesn't require as much prose, even though I do like prose. Come on. So we lose that one, 35-38. Player of the game was Edney. 16 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, and 1 steal. Patrick says, check out Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh. You mean that 90s kid show? Yeah, I've seen plenty of that. on YouTube. Good Canadian and American show made in the 90s. Good short stories. Yeah, it's one of those anthology kind of shows like Black Mirror or Twilight Zone, but kind of catered more for, I guess, young adults and kids. But I mean, I did see a few episodes. Oh, I haven't seen it recently. It's probably like a year or so ago. It seemed to hold up okay. It's not like the best TV ever, but it's interesting. You know, they have a little bit of mystery and they seem all right. It's like you know, it's nothing too deep, which I tend to like. I was in drama club, so I got used to the screenplay format. That's cool. Yeah, there was a stretch where I would write all the time. I haven't written in about a year or so, just because I've been dedicating all my time to this football game. I definitely will keep writing in the future, but I had to really focus on one thing, especially this football game. It's very, very time consuming and requires a lot of problem solving. But I've finished about 3 or 4 screenplays. I've started a lot of other ones, and I've done a few for other people. I've done some rewrites. I've done some like feedback for people. You know, just read it and give them notes. But I kind of cheated when I did that, because I would put the screenplay that I have in PDF format. I would put it in the text to speech engine, so I could just listen to it instead of reading it. It's kind of cool because you can play at like time and a half. You can read the whole thing in like an hour or less. It really helps when you're on a deadline. For whatever reason, I thought of Alone in the Dark when Are You Afraid of the Dark was brought up. Alone in the Dark, I'm not sure what that is. Come on. Good defense. I need to not shoot these threes and just go for 2. Come on. It's a video game. I've received... Oh. Is that the one where you play as like the boy and he's a silhouette? Well, that's something else. Is that Might be thinking of something totally different. Is that a zombie game? Sounds like it's a zombie game. Definitely not easy to steal. Come on. Duncan with a statement. There we go. I never played it because it's on 3DO, but it's from 1992. Oh. Yeah, 3DO is one of those more exotic consoles that you don't hear too much about these days. I don't think I've played anything on the 3DO. I've played games with the 3DO name, like Army Men Toys in Space. I played that game so much as a kid on PC. It was made by 3DO, or maybe published by, I'm not sure. The 3DO is kind of like Neo Geo. Had a short life. The console wars are really interesting because it's not something that could really happen in today's world, just because everyone has PC. So there's no real need for consoles to have like all these different features. It was definitely cool to see like all the different machines that companies were trying to make. I have 3D consoles, but not that one. Oh, 30 consoles. Yeah, the 3DO, I don't know much about that one. I just know that it failed. Man, it's only on starter and we're losing by 10 points. Consoles is a lot. I think I have two consoles. I have a 360 and a PS2. My PS2 is the original one that I got back in 2002. So I've had the same one for a very long time. And the 360, it's my third 360, I think. I had one in high school. I'm not sure what happened to that one. And then I think it's my second one, actually. I think I have the last version of the 360. It was the small small version, the Slim or whatever, the Elite. My parents bought me a lot of them back when retro gaming was cheap. Yeah, retro gaming, I guess it depends on like what stores you go to if you want physical copies. It's pretty amazing how expensive some of these games can be. Luckily where I live, some pretty good stores, and they don't have extravagant prices. Usually because they typically don't get their games from people that are trying to make a profit. Might be people that are like trading in or just trying to get rid of old stuff. But honestly, a lot of the retro games that I play now are on the emulator. There we go. Come on. I do like to play the games natively though. The only thing is that that just bounced right back out. The only thing is that they don't look that great on a stream. For some reason. Like the Xbox is okay. The Xbox 360 is fine. But like the PS2, because of the resolution, man, I just can't get anything. My parents bought me a lot of them back. Oh wait, I read that one already. Consoles are expensive pretty much everywhere now. Actually, one place you should look is pawn shops. I got my Xbox 360 Elite. It's a really good machine, like really good quality or really good condition. I got it for like $60, which at the time seemed like a good deal. I have an upscaler, so they usually look good for me. Yeah, that might be part of why it doesn't look that great on the PS2. It also has something to do with the adapter that I had. I remember I had an HDMI adapter at one point too, and that one looked fine just on the TV. But it wasn't. OBS didn't like it very much. The sound quality was off. So I had to get rid of it. Just need this ball. Just give it to me. Oh, wow. Alley-oop. $60, I think you won that transaction. Oh, yeah. Ouch. Yeah, $60 was a good deal. I think it even came with a hard drive. So, or I might have had my own hard drive already. Also, PS2 compatible PS3 consoles are good for streaming. Yeah, I was looking into getting one just because I know that the PS3, like the backwards compatible PS3s, the ones that could run PS1, PS2, and of course PS3 games, but they're like $200 or $300, the ones that I saw. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna be playing like some PS1 sports games, so I can either spend $300 or just put them on the emulator. It would be cool though to have that PS3 that could play all 3 PlayStation console games. But pawn shops are a good place, I think, to look for games and consoles. Just because they don't really cater to the gamer, it's just something that they know they can sell. And they're probably going to start it off at about half of its retail price, so... And it's a decent place to get, like, usually you're going to find, like, PS2, Xbox, or no, sorry, PS3, Xbox 360 games there, but occasionally you'll find some Xbox and PS2. You're probably not going to find any cartridges, though. If it's a cartridge, it's usually going to go to a game store. But at thrift stores... and at, if there's any bookstores, like half-price books that sell, like everything, they sell books, games, movies, records, VHS tapes, everything. You'll find some PS1 era stuff there as well. And the cartridges are usually going to be inside of a case at a store like that. At least they are at half-price books. And they do seem to be a little on the pricier side, though. But I've seen like Genesis games there. I've seen, what else? I've seen Game Boy, DS. This guy's fast. I really want to turn off that shot meter thing, because I can't get any of these shots, even from right in front of the rim. Come on, see? Mine was 125. And I also like some PS3 games, so it makes sense. Yeah, the only PS3 game that I would probably play a lot would be... All Pro Football. But I have that one for Xbox 360, so... The sports options really begin to dwindle when you get to PS3 and 360. The heck? I've been playing Mirror's Edge on stream on my other channel. Now, Mirror's Edge is a game I remember seeing way back when it came out. I remember parkour was kind of like its gimmick. But other than what I saw from it, like I didn't understand what. I guess it was like a puzzle game, basically. Mirror's Edge. The puzzle was, I guess, going and jumping through the levels. John Stockton. So I think what I need to do is change the shot meter to auto. Let's see what we got. Options. Guess I can't. Wait. It's mostly action with some puzzles. Oh, the 361 is easier to set up. But mostly action with some puzzles. One game that I played a lot of was Battlefield 3, actually. Some of the funnest online stuff I've done. It was just me and my friend just come home from school and play some Battlefield 3. Good times. So I'm going to try to change the options. Oh, I guess I can't. Or maybe I can. Alright, shot control, automatic. I think that will help me actually score the shots that I have. My top 5 games are on 5 different consoles. That's a pretty wide selection. Good spread. Forgot to load. I think this is the one I want. Patrick says, I coach an online football team. The game is called Football Manager 23. I have a game coming up. See you next time, Grid and Z64. Ciao. Alright, Patrick. See you later. I think I've heard of Football Manager 23. Or at least Football Manager. Okay, so we got time for one more. I might have to. I don't know what I'm going to title this video. PCSX2 fails, so we switch over to NBA Live 96. We play the Rockets too. And I wish that ESPN game didn't crash. Yep, check it out. It's fun. Peace. Alright, see you later, Patrick. Z64's top 5 games are number 1, Tecmo Super Bowl. Very good game. Number 2 is Tomb Raider. 3, Robotron 2084. I don't recognize that one. Number 4 is Excite Bike 64. And 5, Mirror's Edge. Tecmo Super Bowl it's a great game. I think a lot could have been done with the model they had in Tecmo Super Bowl 2 and 3. If they would have just kept doing that, I think they could have had a really cool experience. But they never really committed to, like, the games always felt, other than of course the first ones, the later ones always felt like they were kind of empty. Like they had the main game mode, but I guess they were tailored towards tournaments. And Tomb Raider, I remember playing Tomb Raider on a demo disc on PS1. I think it was PS1. Yeah, my friend and I, we had a demo disc. And it had like Spider-Man on there. I think it had Tomb Raider on there too. Robotron sounds like a 16-bit era game, like a Sega, Genesis, or Super Nintendo. Could be wrong though. Robotron 2084 is a twin-stick top-down. I have on Atari. Oh. Atari 7800. I know there was different Ataris. I guess the 2600 was the most popular one. Can't say I've played Robotron though. Jeez, I still can't score. Ooh, I have that Spider-Man game for Dreamcast. I think it's just called The Amazing Spider-Man, right? I have a lot of memories of just playing out the demo mission. It's kind of funny because demo discs, it felt like you were getting a lot of variety. Like, oh, I'm getting like 5 games, but they're just demos. But as a kid, you don't really see that too much. Man. The 7800 came out in '86 to try to compete with the NES. Okay. Yeah, the Atari 2600. I've played a couple games on it. It might be a little bit too old for me though. So I'll have to try the 7800. It's just called Spider-Man. Okay. Well, I'm sure it looks better on the Dreamcast than the PS1. I really like the Spider-Man tie-in game for PlayStation 2. I played that game a lot when it came out in early 2000s. I guess because that Spider-Man movie is like a childhood movie, so, and the game was actually pretty good for the time. And it has Tobey Maguire's voice and everything. A lot of times movie games can feel kind of weird because they have different people voice the characters than the actors who play them in the movie. Has a higher resolution, and there's actually webs on his suit. Okay. Yeah, I forgot that Spider-Man, I guess, originally had webs. Was it under his arms or something? Are you talking about just the design, like the black lines or the white lines on his suit? I remember I thought Spider-Man 3, the game, was really fun because it had you could walk on the street level, unlike the first one. Definitely had a big. It was cool, just like the vertical space that you had to roam around. And go and crawl on top of the cars and all that stuff. Your webs would actually stick to specific objects instead of just in the air. Because the first one you could sling your webs above the buildings. But later on they made it to where your webs actually hit buildings or whatever it was. Pretty much all the Spider-Man games were good. I've only played that one on PS1 and then a little bit of Spider-Man 2, a decent amount of Spider-Man 3, and There was a plug-and-play machine. Remember the ones that would have like the character heads and the joystick on it with the AV cables. I don't know if that was just a port of like a Super Nintendo game or what it was, but I'll play a little bit of that. I mean the black web texture. The PS1 N64 didn't. They were just red and blue. God dang it. The PS1 N64 ones just had the red and blue, no black webbing. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen it, so... Jeez. It's a wild score. It's only 10-15 in the third quarter. Alright, got our 2 points here. Maybe? There we go. Sorry, I was just trying to make an edit to the last comment. That's fine. Jeez. Come on. Don't make that. There we go. Nice. Within 1 point. So one of the things that I want to do is have this is the whatever subscribers I have put forward ideas for games. I'm still going to play the games that I want to play, of course, but it would be cool to involve the audience a little bit. So I might put out like either a poll, like polls, or just get suggestions for anyone that actually answers the community posts for ideas on what games they might want to see. I think that'd be fun. Right, we're only down 3 points. There's actually some cheat codes on the PS1 version of NCAA Football 98 I'd like to see. That's one game that I do like in the NCAA Football series on the PS1. Because it has these like 2D sprites. That's what attracted me to NBA Live 96, was the way the players look. After 98, they switched over to 3D models, and they don't look that great. Even for PS1 standards. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about cheat codes, so I'll have to look them up. Come on. Rockets ball. On PC, of course, the 3D models look better. Saw a video of Madden 99. Yeah, I probably couldn't run any PC versions that old without using a virtual machine, which is basically an emulator for older Windows versions. Which I guess could be done. I did make a virtual machine for Windows XP. I was trying to help out somebody run Madden 2003 on PC. And that doesn't work, but on the older versions of Windows. So you have to use a virtual machine. It seems pretty stable. But even like Madden 98 has the 2D sprites. And I really like that look. We got to take the ball back here. I've been trying to get my old PC to work for a while now. Yeah, you can, if you look up virtual, I think it's called VirtualBox. I actually have a video on how to run Madden 2003 on a virtual machine. You basically create a separate version of Windows within the program. You don't have to like go into BIOS or anything. It's literally just like an emulator. I think it's called VirtualBox. And then you can run any version of Windows that you want. Alright, we're only within 2 points, so we can score. Ooh, look at that. We win with a buzzer beater. I was just going for 2, but we got it. 35-34. Madden 97 was the one I played. Found it at a yard sale. I don't think I've ever found a video game at a yard sale. I've been to a couple of yard sales back in the day, but not recently. I'm sure there are video games there, though. Actually, the latest copy of Madden that I've ever had, I think it's Madden 16. I found it in a pile of rubble after a hurricane. And that's the only reason I have it. And I think my friend had a Xbox One at the time. And so I played it for like 5 minutes. I was like, man, this sucks. So the only reason I played Madden 16 was because I found it on the floor, literally out in the street. What an ending. Yeah, I know. It's not the way I envisioned the Rockets to go down. See, the foul is what helped me there, because I think they missed one of their shots, and so instead of going up by 1 point, they only are going up by 3 points. They only went up by 2. I got my Sega Game Gear the same way. Oh, the Sega Game Gear, I played that. I think it was my uncle's. Again, he's the one that had all the game consoles back then. It wasn't mine, but I was allowed to play it. I think I had Sonic the Hedgehog for it. I had a baseball game. I have no idea what it was or which game it was, but it was a baseball game. And I think maybe there was one other one. But it wasn't a very good Sega Game Gear, because if you tilted it the wrong way, it would shut off. So you were forced to. I had to hold it a certain way, and I'd typically have it like on a pillow or something, just because I know I'm not going to tilt it over on a pillow. Back in 2005, I lived in Florida, and after a hurricane, someone moved out, and there was a blue Game Gear. Oh, well, that's way better condition than what this Madden would have been in. So this is not the season that I wanted to play, but got a couple games in, at least. I think that's going to do it for me for tonight. It's 8:42. Yeah. It'd be cool to get on a schedule, just because I'm a little sporadic right now with when I'm on. And the times that I have to kind of go for like 3 or 4 hours, that's usually when nobody's on. But the issue about getting on a schedule is that I can't always be on in the evening, and it's a little tough to be consistent in the evening time. But right now I do have the evening open, thankfully. But I think that's going to do it. Thank you, Z64, for hanging out. It's always good to have you. And of course, thanks to Patrick G Mafia, wherever you are. Yeah, Patrick G Mafia. Thanks for stopping by as well. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one.